Hey, movie lovers, welcome back to Pop Movie Recap. If you want more movie recaps and the latest updates, stay tuned by subscribing to Pop Movie Recap. Now, let's jump right into the action. The royal bloodline ruled over the Motherworld for hundreds of years, but their desire for power led to their downfall. Consume everything in their universe. They expanded their kingdom by sending troops to conquer neighboring planets, but the king and queen were eventually assassinated. The conquered planets sought to spark a revolution, prompting Senator Balisarius to declare himself regent. He sent forth his most vicious warriors to crush the rebel. On the planet Veldt, a farming community is going about their regular tasks when they notice an empire ship in the sky. Kora, a war orphan, immediately sees the situation and hurries to ring the town bell to alert everyone. Sindri, the village leader, gathers the residents to decide how to proceed. Gunnar, a farmer, suggests welcoming the soldiers because they will buy their grain at 3 times the price in the city. Kora strongly disagrees, claiming that the empire simply grabs everything. An argument begins, but before they can, after reaching a conclusion, the empire ships land near the village. Admiral Noble met Sindri with. They hug and say they're hunting for a rebel organization commanded by the Bloodaxe siblings. However, his army is in need of food. Sindri lies, claiming their soil does not produce much. The village's food supply is insufficient. Noble doesn't believe him and points. Gunnar offers an answer as everyone appears to be healthy and well fed. He attempts to tell them Sindri was merely attempting to store food for the village's protection over the winter. Noble, furious at being misled, grabs. Using his cane, he beats Sindri to death. When Sindri's wife approaches him, a guard kills her with a gleaming blade. Noble said he'll return in 10 weeks to gather. They consume the entire harvest without considering the villagers' needs. Afterward, Noble and After the ships leave, a small squad of soldiers led by Faunus remain to monitor the situation. Although some soldiers remove villagers from the structure they wish to take, prompting Private Erupts to activate Jimmy, a robot that once served the monarch. Following the deaths of the royals, all the robots set down there, due to a lack of weapons and a refusal to fight, as the troops move their belongings.
He also assures Jimmy the device does not malfunction and instructs him to clean up the muck. Jimmy washes his face in the river. Sam approaches the robot, befriends it, and listens to its narrative. Jimmy explains. Sam reminds him of the Empire Princess. The traitors killed her and her parents. Sam tells Jimmy that the princess dwells within him and gives him a flower crown, which activates something inside him. In the town hall, locals consider their next steps and reach a conclusion. To avoid being killed by the Empire, they need work hard and demonstrate the value of their harvest. They can continue producing food. Kora becomes frustrated when her warnings are ignored and begins packing. Her belongings are to be left behind. Hagen, who discovered her after her ship crashed, catches her in the act. Marcus and 2 other soldiers kidnap Sam in the evening for use by the entire squad. Kora hears her screams but avoids getting involved. Aris comes to Sam's defense. Despite punching a few individuals, he is quickly overpowered by the larger group. Faunus approaches Sam, but is distracted by Kora, who has brought something. Axe. Faunus sends his men after Kora, who initially pretends to surrender before quickly take out 2 soldiers with a few movements. Kora seems to have considerable combat experience. He easily defeats a group of privates armed with their own weapons. Distraction tactics may include going against them and throwing dirt. Aris uses accurate gunfire and vicious stabbing to defend herself, including killing a man who was about to shoot her. Marcus attempted to shoot Kora, but she swiftly disarmed him and jumped on him. He was hit squarely in the head. Kora and Aris can work together to surround Faunus, but he is keeping Sam. They are held at gunpoint and unable to react. When Jimmy arrives, Faunus instructs him to kill them, but Gunnar, he is looking at Sam, murders Faunus instead. Afterward, Jimmy runs. The townspeople arrive just in time to witness Kora slay a soldier who was still alive. She offers to assist in the struggle, but must first gather additional soldiers. In the past, Gunnar sold some of their harvest to the rebels and will transport her to the city. Meet his contact. Hagen gives Kora a special rifle he found on her ship before they leave. Kora and Gunnar bike for a long and stop at night to camp, so Kora takes the opportunity to share her story. When she was 9, an imperial army headed by Balisarius assaulted her home planet, resulting in there is death and destruction around every bend. Her people attempted to fight, but this only strengthened Balisarius. Become more violent. Kora stole a gun, but Balisarius discovered it, who approached her to taunt her. Kora's youthful age prevented her from committing murder. Balisarius murdered her family and kidnapped her to take her under his wing. Over the next several years, Kora was taught in Motherworld culture and joined their army. The higher-ups. Kora pushed her men to find love as a source of motivation to battle. She lost it during the war. Kora was devastated and fought for retribution until she was 18. Became commander. Kora was subjected to brainwashing for several years. She destroyed thousands of communities in the name of those who killed her family. The following day, Kora and Gunnar arrive at the city, but are disappointed to learn that bounty hunters have captured them. Gunnar's contact. Kora accepts that Gunnar's only option for reaching the rebels is to locate General Titus first, then search for the rebels. The couple then enters a tavern. An alien attempts to buy Gunnar, mistaking him for Kora's slave. Kora tries to urge him to go, but he becomes hostile. So he quickly overpowers him and throws him against a table. The extraterrestrial rapidly flees, while mysterious Kai is watching from the shadows. Kora claims she is seeking for Titus. I'm hoping that someone may have any knowledge. A little extraterrestrial uses a human body to communicate with Kora. Titus is battling in a coliseum on the planet Pollux. This means that they will require a ship to fly there. The alien, accompanied by 3 bodyguards, returns to get retribution. When a firefight breaks out, the folks in the tavern flee to safety as Kora engages in combat. Shots were fired at the bodyguards, leading to their deaths one by one. Gunnar attempts to attack the alien. Kora saves Gunnar by knocking down the alien after his strikes prove ineffective. After killing the last bodyguard, the alien attempts to assault her from behind but fails. Kai interrupts and shoots him first. Kai provides his spacecraft after emptying out the dead guy's pockets to take the couple to Pollux, taking the small amount of money offered. As they take off, Kai suggests a warrior who could assist them, so they agree to halt at a separate planet. Gunnar, who has never traveled outside his world, is taken aback by the ship's journey across space. Noble is smoking on the Empire's main ship using a direct pipe connection to his physique. A soldier informs him that bounty hunters have nabbed an informant. Noble instructs him to bring the person to him and then returns to his tentacle lover. Kora's gang arrives at Noi Wodi and meets rancher Hickman, who owns a slave named Tarak. Tarak also battled against the Empire. He was abducted and enslaved. He would love to, fights again, but owes Hickman a significant amount of money for his freedom. In that time, Hickman gives Tarak has a bet. If he can tame a beast called Benus, he can depart. If not, Kora will. Also, the males must become his slaves. They accept the bet, and Tarak approaches Benus. The subject violently jerks its body in an attempt to remove the chains. Tarak kneels to demonstrate he means no. Armin speaks in his original tongue, telling Benus that are similar because they were both taken. They were taken away from their homes and chained. He establishes a friendly relationship with Benus, and after sharing a gentle touch, Tarak frees the beast from its bonds before riding it. During a flight together, Benus struggles to adjust to having a rider, crashes into some rocks a few times. Tarak falls from the edge of a cliff. He swiftly recovers and jumps back to the top of the Benus. They fly more smoothly and return safely to the ranch. Tarak is permitted to depart with the group, and a smug Hickman attempts to ride the Benus, but the creature throws him off. It kills him with its claws. Kora is impressed with Tarak, so Kai offers to introduce her to other fighters. That might help. Upon arriving in Dagus, they encounter Sword Mistress Nemesis. Needs to complete a personal mission. She pursues Harmata, a spider-like alien whose offspring have. The Empire has slain and kidnapped a human youngster who is seeking justice. Nemesis attempts to. Harmata refuses to listen to reason, despite having lost her own children to the Empire. Attempts to attack. Nemesis uses her blades to evade, block, and even cut Harmata's legs to make her drop the child. While Gunnar rescues the girl, Harmata defeats Nemesis, then stab her arm. Nemesis has mechanical gauntlets which allow her to move and cut off another leg. Harmata throws her down again and attempts to kill Gunnar and the infant, but Nemesis intervenes. She stabs herself in the back and sets fire to her swords with her gauntlets. As she slides down the floor, Nemesis strikes Harmata's spider body and stabs her humanoid torso with both swords simultaneously. After Nemesis joins the group, they take off again. Gunnar and Kora share another. She decides to share more information about herself, since she is Balisarius' adoptive. As a daughter, she enjoyed a privileged lifestyle and eventually joined the royal guard. She was in charge, protecting the princess, who possessed the unusual ability to resurrect beings. To this, Kora still feels bad for not saving her during the attack. The gang arrives at Pollux and visits the arena, where dozens of fighters perish daily. General Titus refuses to take a shower despite his poor condition. During the entire process, Titus used to be a commander for the former monarch. He experienced Great Depression after his army was ambushed and all of his troops were slaughtered for attempting to surrender. He initially refuses to fight, but when Kora offers him the opportunity, he reconsiders. Revenge. The bounty hunters deliver the rebel contact to Noble, who agrees to release him. Go in exchange for information. Person reveals that the Bloodaxe siblings are under protection. Moments later, Kora's team arrives in Sharon. He meets with King Levitica, who agrees to arrange a meeting with the rebels. Soon the Bloodaxe siblings come with their rebel army, and Kora informs them of their fight. Despite the dismal possibilities of victory, The speaker emphasizes that her people have always been nourished. The least they can do is defend them. Darien, the brother, agrees to help and approaches. He delivered a heartfelt speech to his troops, requesting volunteers. A few rebels eagerly agree to go with. After the group leaves with their new allies, Kai expresses his inspiration. He tells them that he wants to help them fight. He still has boxes to transport, so Kora accepts to make one final trip before heading home. Shortly after the gang leaves, Noble and his men discover Levitica and demolish his kingdom. Noble murders Levitica with his cane as he refuses to cooperate. After the army destroys the region, Noble receives a message directing him to a certain location, the rebels. The team arrives in Gondoval and assists Kai with unloading the cargo bridge. Kora thinks something is awry as he interacts with the people. A concealed Empire spacecraft fires and destroys most of their ships. Then a group of robots. Kai ambushes the crew and captures most of them. He then discloses his true intentions. He's always Kora, a wanted ex-commander with high salary, was utilized to gather a large group. Noble enters with his men and grabs Kora's rifle. Kai pushes Gunnar behind her, stating that he is simply a farmer, so they will let him go if he kills Kora. Gunnar pretends to shoot her, but instead, he frees her and turns to shoot Kai. Kora instantly jumps on a guard. She knocks him down and steals his gun before fleeing to hide as Noble's men open fire. She tests her. To defend herself, she blows up a box, resulting in a massive explosion that drives away her enemies. Gunnar uses the opportunity to liberate the other warriors, and Nemesis begins slicing people with her blades. Darien pushed a soldier off the bridge. He tells his soldiers to gather the few ships that survived the attack. Despite the intense battle, Tarka, Titus, and Gunnar manage to. As Nemesis stabs her way through, Noble commands his covert spaceship to launch an attack on the rebel ships. Darien, desperate to save his comrades, grabs a metal rod and beats the soldiers. He made his way up the bridge before jumping on the enemy ship. Unfortunately, he doesn't stab the pilot, who dodges the bar and fires at Darien. Darien tries again and successfully kills the adversary to halt the onslaught. He also dies in the process. His body drops upon the controls. The ship began to slowly plummet towards the bridge. Kora is furious and leaves her hiding place. She goes through the bridge, shooting random troops as she approaches Noble. Despite the ship crashing and destroying the bridge, Noble manages to survive, land on a floating platform. Kora arrives behind him and starts a hand-to-hand combat. Kora and Noble exchange punches without mercy. After trading a significant number of hits, Noble punches Kora off the platform, but she holds onto a rope at the last second. When Noble disconnects the rope, use the rope as a whip to make Noble fall before he climbs back up. Kora uses the rope to stop Noble's attack. He eventually broke his cane and stabbed him in the leg with a little piece. Noble attempts to keep up. Kora uses a cane to stab him in the chest after breaking his arm during the battle, before pushing him off the platform. After that, Tarok pulls the platform over with extra rope. Go to the bridge and rescue Kora. The remaining team members have survived and are leaving together. Returning to Veldt, they prepare to defend the farming community in the future. Jimmy observes them while wearing an unusual crown. Meanwhile, enemy troops retrieve Noble's body. Instead of treating him, they open his body to attach him to the Neuralink, disclosing his condition, a cyborg. His thought appears in front of Balisarius, who scolds him. Noble fails by repeatedly tapping the ice beneath him with his cane. Balisarius tells Noble to capture Kora alive and kill her before cracking the ice to restore Noble's consciousness. The physicians are unable to detect brain activity, so they administer a stronger dose to resuscitate him, causing him to scream.
Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our next recaps on this channel. Until next time, happy watching.